Hello children, welcome to your geography class. In this session, we will start chapter 1 and the name of the chapter is resources. So, let's start. Resources. Children, the complete class in geography focuses on the various types of resources. So, in this first chapter, we will be understanding what are resources, the basics of resources, and basic classification for understanding the resources. So, here it begins. Children, I am explaining this chapter in a very simpler way, in a very simple language. So, if you want to understand this chapter thoroughly, then listen it just like a story. So, let's begin. So, the first thing is resources. So, children, what is the meaning of resources? Anything that can be used to satisfy a need is resource. So, this sentence over here speaks a lot about this chapter. There are almost unlimited examples on this planet Earth that can be covered behind this sentence. Let's go through some basic examples. The water you drink for thirsty, that is a resource. Water is a resource, and then electricity that we use in a house, that is also a resource. And again, the way we use transportation, rickshaw, to get home or anywhere, that is again a resource. So, this is all that we are going to study in this chapter. Children, water, electricity, rickshaw, vegetables and textbooks have something in common, though we know that they all are separate things. But what is it that is common in between all of these? So, they are nothing but utility, which means we use them. We don't just keep it with ourselves. Now, how you use it, that's a whole different thing. What we are concerned about it is that we use these things. We don't just keep it in stock. Therefore, utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. I hope this line is absolutely clear to you. Students, now the best question you can ask in this chapter is, how does something become a resource? What it means is, for example, if I give you electricity and you don't know how to use it, then how do you turn that into a resource? Or another example, you go to school and colleges to learn something, but if you are not told how to apply that knowledge, then how do you make that knowledge a resource? That is a big question. So, to answer that question, always remember, things become resource only when they have a value. And believe it or not, all resources have some value, because if you are paying for your education, then there is absolutely a value associated in that knowledge. Otherwise, the teachers or the colleges wouldn't have rolled out that kind of syllabus or curriculum to be studied. If a certain amount of energy, money or any kind of other effort has been put into something, that it automatically becomes something of value, because you don't want to waste time behind something which is of no value. Therefore, value means worth. Now, as we said, all resources have some value, but some resources have economic value and some do not. The meaning of economic value is if it is useful to a country's economy or GDP, because if you are not productive and not a part of that big chain of making and circulating money, then you are not adding any economic value to the country. So, when you work, you pay taxes. You use that money to buy things and feed yourself. So, all the money that is going out from your salary, that is adding economic value of the country. And on the other hand, if you are not working or if you are unemployed, then you cannot earn money, you cannot spend money. Therefore, you are not of any economic value. Children, let's take a little smaller example. Metals, you know metal. So metals may have an economic value, but beautiful landscape may not. So metals like iron, aluminium, nickel, they have economic value. You don't get it for free. And the reason you don't get it for free is you use these to make important things like machinery, like buildings, like pillars, cars, household stuff. And on the other hand, when you go out to see a beautiful mountain or a landscape, you don't pay money for it. Of course, you do pay a little bit for the ticket or any entry fee, but that's a different thing. Most of the places you don't pay anything, you just go and enjoy the beauty of the landscape. So in doing so, that's not of economic value. But if you see, both the metal as well as landscape, they both are important and satisfy the human needs. Now there are some resources that can become economically valuable with time. What does it mean? I'll give you a very simple example. Suppose you have cold, you are coughing, you are sneezing, because nowadays it is in trend. If somebody coughs, somebody sneezes, then everybody stares them in a strange way, isn't it? So let's come out to a topic. So suppose you have cold and your grandmother says that eat this. This will help you in getting rid of your cold. Now you will not go and question her about the scientific logic behind it, because it's a home remedy which has been done years and years. But if you patent it or register it as a medical procedure or make a tablet out of it, they can become economically valuable because you are going to sell them. So students, time and technology are two important factors that can change substances into resources. To see any kind of a change, you need time, and technology is nothing but the way which helps you in getting the change. For example, computer, machinery, gadgets, etc. So we see most of the things around us, they have been discovered or invented many years back, and over the years we have studied the same discoveries and inventions and then modernized them. So we see hydroelectricity is the technology which turns the flow of water into the electrical energy. It is an important resource.